Hey fellow Vault Warriors, it's Angry Turtle, and we have public test server live, and therefore as well a public test server patch notes, and we have a first look into new legendary effects and legendary effects rebalancing, legendary attributes rebalancing. And the good news is that for whatever reason, there is like no nerfs. There are only buffs. Then I think Bethesda was really scared after the last nerf about any possible backlash, and there is no nerfs. Then let's start from the legendary power armor, because this is a new thing. And surprisingly, like if you look at this node, the only thing that you cannot have on legendary power armor is life saving. Like out of all the legendary effects, Bethesda figured out that life saving is too OP. I don't understand, but I'm fine with that. I never wanted life saving legendary power armor anyway. And on the third star, it's actually not exceptions. It's basically you cannot have in power armor stuff that power armor already have by default, or that will not work in power armor anyway. Then that's fine. Then only thing that you cannot have on your power armor is life saving. And now, legendary attribute, balance changes and new attributes. New ones first. For weapons, we have aristocrats. This one can increase your damage up to 50% at 29,000 caps. That's a really interesting one. Then you have juggernauts. Damage increases as health increases, but unfortunately only 25% at 95% health or above. Really not worth it, to be absolutely honest. It's another effect that's better than nothing, but not what you will be looking for. Heavyweight, it's a prototype yet. We don't have any more info. It's coming. But basically it will be related to how much stuff are you carrying. What's your carry? Like what's your total weight? It will do something. Then gourmands. Damage increases and you feel your hunger and thirst meters, maximum only 24% damage. Then another one you don't want. Then interesting one is aristocrats from those effects. Then on the second star, we have last shot. That's another effect you don't want. There is 25% for double damage with last bullet in magazine. That's another effect that you don't want to have. But there is a good one here. Steady. 25% damage while standing still. I can see how good it will be on heavy guns, standing still in power armor. Keep firing and get a lot of extra damage. That's great, that's really powerful. And inertial, replenish 15 action points with each kill. Not something you want really, but better than nothing. And on the third star, the one only, ghosts. Attack that hit enemies each have 10% chance to generate a stealth field. That's quite interesting, but I don't know if anyone will use it actually, although it's cool, something cool on third star. There's not too many good effects on third star, then that's fine. And new legendary armor and power armor attributes. Keep in mind everything is available on power armor as well, including unyielding. And for 1 star, we have aristocrats, and this is similar to like on the weapon, but if you have 29,000 caps, you will get plus 20 for each resistance, plus 35 if it's a power armor. Still, trust me, you don't want it on power armor, it's redundant, increasing resistance on power armor. It's way better one in a second. Heavyweight, it's still saying that it's a prototype, but on power armor, it states what it does. Maximum of 35 of each resistance at 350 pounds of weight. Then that's not something you want. And there is one you want, especially if you PvP. Overeaters. Increases damage reduction up to 6% as you feel your hunger and thirst meters. Then if it's power armor, if we can have this effect on all pieces, I'm not sure if every piece, I will go into crafting later, if every piece can have it, but it's at least, if it's 5 pieces, it's 30% damage reduction. That's like doji for free, another doji. Then yeah, that's insanely powerful, especially on power armor, if you want to be super tanky, like for PvP. Then 2-star effects, we have gluttons. Hunger and thirst grow 10% slower and it caps at 50%. Not bad one, but not amazing. Then we have Fireproof, Warming. Both of those, first one is give fire resistance, second cryo resistance. Then first time ever we can have a cryo resistance. And we have Hardy, receive 10% less damage from explosions. That's interesting. I'm curious if this will be enough to stop explosions from like anything if you pair it with Fireproof. And for third star, we have Ductures. Stimpaks and Radawaves and Radexes are 5% more effective. Feels weak, but it's something. And then we have 4 very bad effects to dilute our pool. We have Burning, Electrify, Frozen and Toxic, and all of them just have 5% chance to deal 100 of relative damage. When melee attacks hit you, then not something you want for sure. And last one, Dissipating, slowly regenerate radiation damage when out of combat. Okay, for lazy builds, one piece of that, it will be probably fine, but only out of combat. I'm curious if inside the nuke zone it will work or it will not, but we'll test that later. For now, those are the effects. Third star mainly to dilute the pool, it's look like. And then we have legendary weapon attribute changes. Then not new one, the changes. And we have buffs. For assassins from 10% damage to 50% damage. It's finally a useful effect, especially in PvP. And then berserkers, the negative is removed. Therefore, when your damage resistance is high, it doesn't do anything. Like currently in the game, it nerfs weapon damage if your damage resistance is too high. Then now, if your damage resistance is above 80, it does nothing. And when it is between 1 and 60, it only slightly works. Therefore, you really want 0. You really want 0 resistance if you consider using berserkers. Exterminators, ghoul slayers, hunters, boosted to 50% damage. The same with mutant slayers, troubleshooters and zealots. All those boosted to 50%. Mutants receive a slight boost from 5% to 25%. Still not something you aim for, but better. Then Nocturnal no longer gives you a debuff, and nighttime buff has been increased. Then you can actually consider using Nocturnal during the night after this patch. Suppressors, damage reduction applied to the target has been buffed from 20% for 3 seconds to 25% for 5 seconds. Then that's actually quite useful in some scenarios, assuming you will need to reduce damage of enemies for whatever reason, but with all those extra defensive perks, I don't know if we will need to. We'll see. And for the second star, we have Basher's boost. Imagine the minigun with Shredder with this boost. It's awesome. It's awesome. I like it. I like it. Then a Hitman's increased damage while aiming from 10% to 25%. It's awesome boost for snipers. I really like it. It's decent now. You will feel a difference while aiming. And Enhanced VATS, my favorite legendary effects, receive a boost. Who would think it was too weak? I was using it a lot. From 33% bonus to VATS hit chance to 50%. And then we go into legendary armor attribute changes. Assassins was boosted from 10% to 15% damage reduction. Nothing stated here about the chance to trigger. Like if you know Assassin have 75% chance to trigger. Was it changed, removed or not? No mention, then we'll see in game. Nocturnal. Remove daytime debuff and, now that's interesting, damage and energy resistance now increased by 10% per piece of nocturnal armor during nighttime. It's by percentage, now not the flat amount. Then it can be actually good, but only night. Then I'm still not a big fan of Nocturnal, but at least it's doing something useful now and have no penalty during daytime. And those are all the changes. Then I will cut this video out in here and I will come back to you with second video in a moment. How crafting of legendary staff, legendary cores will work in game already, but for now I cut this video here to keep it on one topic, and second topic will be in second video. Therefore, thank you a lot for watching, and see you all in the next one.